Hey YouTube, Wagwan, welcome back to the channel. So today what we're gonna do, we're gonna diagnose this car right here. It's a Volkswagen CC 2012. So when I'm driving it, it feels like it have like some kind of misfire. So you can feel the car jerk a little bit if I press down hard on the gas, like there. So what I'm gonna do is connect a scan tool to it, and then we're gonna go through the menu, and then we're gonna see what's causing it to misfire. Alright, so I'm gonna pull over, get the scan tool hooked up. So scan tool hooked up, we're gonna hit diagnose. So let me come back out of this. So we're gonna do CAN gateway. So we have all these fault codes, but I already know these codes are for the ABS module, but there's a code for the check engine light. So I'm gonna go ahead and press that, and then we're gonna go to trouble code, and you're gonna see where we have cylinder 2 misfire and also random misfire. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna go back, and then I'm gonna go to live data, because it's also say random misfire. So I don't know if it's more than one cylinder or if it's just cylinder 2 throwing off the rest of the cylinder. Because I know on these Volkswagen, once one cylinder misfiring, the car go in limp mode and it's like you don't want to drive and everything. So we're gonna scroll down till we find cylinders. Alright, so we have misfire count, cylinder 1, 2, 3, and 4 right here. So let me start driving.
Main menu.
Cancel. Alright, so we have some misfire. So we have misfire, guys. So now that's good. We can see just now when I press down on the gas, I have 9 misfires in cylinder number 2. So what I'm gonna do is change the plug. I'm gonna go ahead and change the plug, and what I would recommend you guys to do is change all 4 plugs, but I'm just gonna do it the cheaper way, because that's what I'm gonna do it the cheaper way as well. I'm gonna change the plugs and the ignition coil, but I would recommend for you guys to get all 4 plugs if you can get it. If not, you do what your budget tells you, and then you go from there. Alright guys, so we're gonna open the hood, which you should know how to do already by right here. So once we open that, we come to the front and change, open that, and then pull this up. I think this rubber gasket is leaking oil, so I'm gonna have to change that. But what we're here for today is a misfire in cylinder number 2. So we're gonna change the coil pack. But to change the coil pack, we need to remove. To change the coil pack, we need to remove the harness. So that's where the flathead come in, to kind of push back on this. Or if your hand can do it, you just use your hand and squeeze back on this and pry between here. So you can see this one is different. So I guess it's a trend for them to just change one. This one is these three look original, and this one have a Denso plug on it. I'm gonna pull this one. So you need it. So these are really easy to break. Worse than older VW cars, so that's why I use a screwdriver to, like, when I squeeze this back right here, you just put your hand, you just put this in there and kind of work it like this to get it back. So once you take off all four, you can slide it all the way back, just like that. And then once you do that, we can just pry up on whichever one you're changing, just like that. And this is the one we're gonna change. This is the original one. That's a Denso, and the rest seems to be original. So that's a different one. So what I'm gonna do is put a new one in it, but I'm gonna put a Bosch. So what I'm gonna do is just put Denso sparks plug. I'm gonna measure the gap when I take that one out. So I'm gonna have a sparks plug socket, which is our 60mm, our 5/8. Get down in that. I'm gonna have this, just like that. Alright, so this is the plug. That's what the plug looked like. You also want to gap the plug, but the gap seems the same on this one, so I'm not going to gap this one. But if yours is off by any chance, you can go ahead and gap it. And also, guys, you want to match the plug to make sure they're the same height. So once they're the same height, you know it's not going to go too much down in the block and cause any damage. So they're the same height. We're going to use this because we don't want the plug to drop, because if you drop your plug in, chances are you might hit the bottom and knock it off the knock off the gap measurement. So once that is in, we're just gonna snug them up. We're just gonna snug it up, and that's how you would just repeat the process for all four. So even though I change one, you can still use this process to change all four. So now it's time for the plug. Seems to be the same. Just gonna match it up. Seems about right. Same size. Alright, now we're just gonna install it. Alright, so that's good. We push it all the way in. I'm gonna line this up, line up all four, push them and click them in. And now we're gonna go ahead and clear the code for the misfire, and then we're gonna go drive it and see if any misfire come back up. So guys, it's back on, and once again I would recommend that you change all four. So let's go ahead and just get started on this one. Alright, so we're gonna turn on our ignition. We're gonna get our scan tool. The glare is always fighting with the glare. So we're gonna get a cans tool, and we're gonna go to codes, I'm gonna clear DTC. Ignition on, engine off. Yep. Yep. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and start the car. And also what we're gonna do is come back out of that, go to live data. We're gonna go for a drive to make sure all is well. So after we test drive the vehicle, we can see that we have no more misfire, and also, but you gotta keep in mind that if you do it this way, you're gonna have to change the other one real soon because they're all on the vehicle at the same time, and if one goes out, chances are the rest gonna goes out. So I would recommend that you change all 4 at the same time along with the plugs. But this is good for now until that problem come up. The next, I already know that I have number 2 is, now that I know number 1 is changed from earlier. I don't know who changed that one. Number 2 is changed now, so I only need number 4 and 3. So if anything come back up, I'm just gonna go ahead and just change both of them, but for now it's good. Alright guys, peace out, see you next time.